It's fair to say Kellie Bright is firmly ensconced in a baby bubble. The 45-year-old gave birth to her longed-for third child on the 22nd of July and she couldn't be happier. Kellie and husband Paul Stocker, 38, welcomed their baby boy, Rudy Joy Stocker, weighing 7 pounds 14 ounces, a little brother to their elder sons Freddie, 9, and Jean, 4. Kellie was desperate for a third child to complete her family. She became pregnant naturally with Freddie but struggled a second time around and underwent IVF to conceive Jean. 3 extra embryos were frozen for potential use later down the line and, following failed attempts at pregnancy with 2 of them, her dreams came true when she conceived her miracle. Here, Kellie introduces Rudy and opens up about a hilarious moment during her labor. Congrats, Kellie. How are you doing? I'm so tired, but it's been amazing. I'm trying to savor every bit as these first few weeks are so precious and this is definitely my last. I'm sure your body makes you forget how hard the first few weeks are and what that sleep deprivation is like. It's like nothing else. We went to Cornwall a couple of weeks after he was born, which was a bit crazy, but it was lovely having that time, just the 5 of us, so we could all get to know each other. How did you feel having another boy? I really didn't mind if I had a boy or a girl. We didn't have a third child because we wanted a girl and in the back of our minds we expected another boy. The main thing was that he was healthy. I very much have the philosophy that because of the way we've had our children, going through IVF and the frozen embryo transfer, they are really meant to be here. Rudy is no exception and if anything I feel it more so with him because of his journey to get here. He was the last remaining embryo and the one that made it. For whatever reason, I'm meant to bring up boys. Why did you want to add to your family? I know it's not for everyone and there's millions of women my age thinking, God, I wouldn't want to go back to that. But for me, I just never had that feeling of being done with having children. It's a really special and unique thing. I do feel very lucky I've got to experience it again. But now, 100%, I feel the family is complete. Tell us about the labor. I was induced at 37.5 weeks because they were worried about the baby's size. I've always had big babies. Freddie was 8 pounds 5 ounces and Jean was 8 pounds 9 ounces. I didn't want an induction because you know your body isn't going to be ready and it's going to be forced to do something. It was eye-opening and I'm grateful it wasn't my first baby. It's an awful thing to put a woman through. Did everything go smoothly even though you were induced? It was a long build-up over 2 days but the actual delivery was so quick. He flew out. I had my first pessary and initially it felt like things were happening, but then it all stopped. I was feeling really low about the situation and the fact I hadn't got going. But then my midwife Claire gave me a sweep which was rather full on but it did the trick. Within 2 hours I was having quite intense contractions. Paul had gone off for a coffee and when he came back I said, something is really happening, and all of a sudden my waters broke. What time of day was it? It was 3 p.m. I gave birth an hour and 5 minutes later. The contractions were so intense it took my breath away. The midwives examined me 10 minutes later and I was 4 centimeters dilated. I said, I need to get to the labor ward now, and they said, it's fine, you have time, but I said, no, I need to go now. They sent in a midwife with a wheelchair to take me to the labor ward. I said, I can't sit on that. I was in excruciating pain so they told me to kneel on it and hold on to the back. So I was kneeling on this wheelchair while my waters were coming out of me. I'm in the throes of labor and this poor girl is having to wheel me down corridors. Paul was beside me and said it was hilarious. He said it was like a car crash, you couldn't help but stare. He arrived 20 minutes after I got to the labor ward. How have Freddie and Jean adjusted to their little brother? They absolutely love him. Jean made the baby a cushion with our nanny. He loves making things and she helped him use the sewing machine. He came running in with it. I thought maybe they'd be a bit more boisterous with him but they've been so loving and gentle. I also thought there might be some complaining about the baby crying but there hasn't been. Is Paul hands-on? He's brilliant. He's brilliant with the older boys. When you're breastfeeding, you can't really be anywhere other than with your baby. But I've made sure I've had time with all the boys. Gene is still only 4 and he wants mummy a lot. I want to be able to give him my time and I don't want him to feel mummy isn't here anymore because she's always with the baby. Paul puts the boys to bed every night as I'm usually feeding at that time. I'm like a breastfeeding machine. Of course. They've been really lovely. I have a WhatsApp group with my television family and I've sent pictures. I've spoken to Danny Dyer and Maddie Hill and had texts from Linda Henry and Letitia Dean, who I'm good friends with. They don't feel like colleagues as I've been with them for 8 years, so they're like family to me. I haven't introduced Rudy to any of them yet, that will be starting very soon.